Complacency. What is it? Why is it a problem? And what can you do to address it? All that will be tackled right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to Modern Mindset. This week we will tackle complacency. What is complacency? Complacency is the feeling of self-satisfaction, especially when accompanied by unawareness of actual danger or deficiencies. To me, that definition is just too generic. It doesn't really cover what complacency is to me. Complacency is the feeling of entitlement once you feel like you've actually accomplished something. Complacency is the half-hearted effort that you now accept due to previous success. Complacency is the feeling of content that you have towards the status quo. That's complacency. And I guess the general dictionary definition covers all those, but something so ambiguous is unrelatable. Now that we define complacency, let's now take a look at why it can become a problem. Once you accept where you are, you start to let things slip through the cracks. You let things start to pass by, and you start to care less about the little details of this nuanced work that you are doing. You can start to make excuses for leaving early, or turning in a report late, or just not developing your skills like you used to. All those things can be little slip-ups, but they start to chip away at the foundation that you built all your goals and your success off of. You could have been that person who was always pushing towards the next promotion, or pushing to beat your old PRs, or anything like that. But then all of a sudden you're the person that's sleeping in, or you're becoming the person that just skips workouts altogether, or you skip doing the work that you used to do altogether just because you no longer see the need for it. You could have been the person that people relied on and trusted, but now you're the person that people wonder if you're even going to show up on time. All of those things contribute to complacency and the problems that are attributed to it. These little slip-ups aren't the worst thing that can happen to you. But once they become bad habits, they start to affect your career and your life as a whole. Another issue that can come out of complacency is becoming satisfied with where you are in your career or where you are just in general. Although you don't have to be in the hustle mindset 100% of the time, you should always try to push to be happy but dissatisfied with where you are. Finding this balance can be complicated, but it's key to keeping yourself on your toes. If you no longer have goals or a roadmap in front of you, it's easy to get lost and fall off the track. But falling in the opposite lane where you never give yourself a chance to breathe is just as bad. This can result in burnout, which is its own problem and deserves its own video. I've recently realized that I've started to become complacent. I'm a software consultant and I've been on the same project for about 2 years now, and I've gotten used to being able to solve any problem with ease. Due to the comfort I developed on this project, I had stopped doing a lot of the things that gave me success in the past. Luckily, I had an opportunity come up recently where I'm able to switch projects. But it's kind of scary to be honest. I'm switching projects now, and I'll be on a project where I have no experience in the technology stack or any of their processes. And now I'm dealing with imposter syndrome again, which I've talked about in the past, which you can go watch this video and see more about it. I no longer have the comfort of knowing how to solve all the problems right away. I'm now gonna have to learn new systems and new technology and new processes with this new company. But ultimately, I needed this. I needed to remove the safety net again. I needed to get out of my comfort zone because I was no longer growing as a developer. I'm taking on a decent amount of risk with this new project. But if I'm able to adapt and thrive in this new environment, the rewards will be substantial. But that brings us to our next question. How do you overcome complacency? The first thing is you have to recognize that you've fallen into this trap. This can be done in a couple of ways. You can have a friend or a colleague point it out to you. You could have someone give you some type of constructive feedback on your performance. Or you can even recognize it by looking at the accomplishments that you've had over the last 6 months. Once you recognize that you've become complacent, you need to come up with a plan to address it. You can do what I did and try to find a way to be challenged in a new way, but that's not always possible. So the next thing you can try is you can try to detail a roadmap for your projected future. So I would suggest setting goals at intervals, say 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, and have these be attainable goals where you can actually measure them. By doing this, you'll have trackable and defined deliverables for these intervals. This will also help you avoid becoming like a bystander in your future in your career development. Those will help you long term, but what will help you day to day? I think a good start is to have a simple mindset of trying to be better each day. Basically, set the bar a little higher to be a little bit better each day so you're continually moving forward and getting better. This focus on getting a little better each day will allow you to grow without having to go through burnout. You don't want to go through life with a sprint mindset. You don't want to try to achieve these goals at lightning speed. That will definitely result in burnout. And you may achieve that goal faster, but in the end, what are you going to do for your next goal if you just take a break for 6 months or something along those lines? But yeah, some days you're going to have to put in more work than others. The idea is to keep growing in some way day to day. You can focus on growing your different skills, your communication skills, your technical skills, your leadership skills, any of these skills that'll help you in your day-to-day work or your day-to-day life. The last interjection I wanted to have with this video is that you have to give yourself a day off every once in a while. Some days or weeks are going to be harder than others, and you're not going to have the energy to keep pushing towards your goals. But that's okay, because life is a marathon, and you can take this day or a week off or something along those lines. But just understand, you're gonna have to get back in that horse eventually, or you're gonna end up back into complacency. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss future content. But with that said, thank you for watching the video and see you next week on Modern Mindset.